Hello, yeah. Hi, welcome to episode 56. Today is Friday the 9th of October 2015, and I am coming to you from Jönköping, Sweden, and I am Maja. You can find me as sjomajlin online on Ravelry and Instagram. And there will be coughing, and I do apologize. Last week I was not doing very well. I did post a small episode anyway, because I had missed out 2 weeks before that due to this, which is still going on. I am doing better, but the cough is still there and I'm still very, very tired. I've been working a little bit this week, no singing, because I can't. But some like administrative stuff, and then I've also been taking some time off because I can't work. I'm sorry. Perhaps I should, be editing it out, but I don't really have the energy to do that. If it gets really bad, I'll probably do something, but otherwise, I'm sorry. I'm trying a new setup today as well, as you can see, both with where I'm sitting. I'm sitting on the opposite side of my kitchen table as to where I usually sit, and I'm trying some new lighting as well, so you can see if I do this that I have a strong light on my face from right there. So I'm trying this out to see if it works. Let me know if you have an opinion. Otherwise, I'll just have to see what I think about it. There has been some knitting going on. So I'll just jump right into the knitting. And I just brought all my things, but I didn't really organize anything. Last week I had finished a hat, like a small hat for charity. I knit another one, and to use up all the yarn I added a pom-pom also to the first one, or a pom-pom. It's more of a tassel. So 2 small hats, like charity hats, and as I've mentioned before, I bought the yarn just because it had such a lovely name. And it's not, this is not really my style, so I didn't want to make anything for me with it, but I felt, you know what, I'll make something for charity. So I did. So another hat since last week. Excuse me, just really need to fold my legs up underneath me. I mentioned last week that I had knitted something out of the West Yorkshire Spinners blue tit yarn, or the blue tit colorway of the BFL DK. And it's this. It's a hat. It's not really my style, but it's not for me, so it doesn't really matter. It's this sort of, it's not a cap, but it's sort of a, yeah, I don't know what they're called. But you could sort of, pull it over your ears. And there is, in the, do you call it a beak? I have some plastic in there to make it, what do you say? Not fold. And then there are, I believe you call them snaps. Can you see? They are really, really tiny, so you can't really see them. To keep the to keep it folded, I guess. So, as you can see, this is the blue tit colorway. And up here, obviously, the rows are quite short, so there's a lot of every color, and in the back where the rows are longer, it looks more speckled, and I think it really, I was a bit worried when I was going to work with this yarn, because the longer rows obviously breaks up the pattern, and I was a bit worried that it would be too busy. But I actually do think that this works out really well. So the pattern is the Morgan hat. It's from Knitty, the fall of 2008. So you can see a picture of it there. I'm sorry, but I have some trouble breathing, so I'm doing my best. And here are, sorry about the crinkling, here are 2 more pictures of it. I did browse the project page on Ravelry, and the projects, to see if anyone had made this hat out of a, well, busier than a semi-solid color yarn. And I didn't find any. Most people hadn't knitted it out of sort of tweed yarn, which are, well, I guess they're not really semi-solid either, but they are, you know, not really solid, but sort of solid. But yeah, I took a chance, and as I said, I really think this worked out good in the colorway as well. So I made that, and as I said, it's not for me, it's going to be a Christmas gift for someone. And yes, those are pretty much the finished objects that I got this week. I do have a small little thing, because I do like this yarn, so I made a little like bookmark out of the same yarn. As you can see, it's the, or perhaps you can see it's the herringbone stitch, just to make some extra interest, or add some extra interest, and a little tassel. And I did finish this one and blocked it just to see how it would work out. So I have this finished as well, but I am working on a couple more, because this is what it looks like when it's just knitted, so I wanted to see if it would block out to look decent. So I have a few more coming, but it's not, well, I had some left over from the hat, so I'm trying to just use up the yarn pretty much. And well, the thing is that some of my family might be watching, so suit yourselves. Sorry. But most members of my family are really interested in bird watching. So I did think that they might like this yarn, because it really does look like the blue tit. So I was thinking that maybe they would like to have, you know, just a little bookmark, or, you know, something with the colors. So that's what I'm doing. So that's just a little, you know, small thingy. And then I am working, excuse me for leaning over, but I keep the stuff on the floor here. Sorry. I am working on my drop stitch sweater. It's sort of based on the Matrix sweater, or the sweaters from the Matrix movies. And you've seen it before. It's worked top down. And I did finish the body, and it rolls a bit, and it obviously needs a good block. I finished the body, and now I'm working the first sleeve. And you can see that there are dropped stitches running, and well, it will be easier to show you when it's all done, obviously. I think this is going to be good. I have a real good feeling about this. I am working it out of Lopi, Einband, or Einband, or I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. It's an Icelandic yarn, which is 100% wool, I believe. I can't see it right now, but I'm sure it is. Sorry. Yeah, I can't see it right now, but I'm sure it is 100% wool. And it's kind of rough, but I think it will be good. So it's a very thin yarn, so I'm working it on size 3mm needles. And you can see that it's not, you can see it's not super dense. To get a very dense fabric, I would have needed to drop down a few needle sizes. But this is pretty much what I'm going for. So, sorry. So I'm working on that, and it's coming along. I did post a picture to Instagram, for those of you who follow me there, of some calculations for the sleeve, because I wanted to have, because I really had no idea how many stitches I needed to decrease to get a, well, I don't want the sleeve super fitted, but I didn't want it just straight either, so I did some kind of serious calculations on the sleeve. So I've only just started the sleeve yesterday, but it's coming along. And then, excuse me, I'm trying to keep my throat moist. I hate that word. I am working on this, and this is how far I've gotten. You will, excuse you, you will recognize the, and I'm just trying to stall to remember what it's called, mitered squares. You will remember, did I say that? You will recognize the mitered squares. A lot of people are doing the Cozy Memories blanket or sock scrap blanket or whatever with this technique, but most people have the smaller, the squares much smaller, and obviously they are working it in, most people I guess are working it in sock yarn, which also gives a smaller gauge. For me, personally, those blankets that most people are working are too busy. I'm not saying that I don't think they look good, because it looks good in its way, but for me it's just too busy, too much going on, and yeah, too busy. So that is why, and also because I actually don't have a lot of scrap yarn, sock scraps. I have some, sure, but I don't have enough to be able to make a blanket. And also, well, mostly because it's too busy for me, for my taste. So that is why I didn't start to make a blanket. But I've been sort of interested in just the technique, because all the people are like, oh, this is so addictive and it's so interesting. So I was thinking, because I will show you the yarns in just a minute, but I had these two yarns and I was thinking I wanted to make some sort of shawl. But I didn't really know what I wanted to make and how, because I wanted to combine the colors, but I didn't really know how to combine them, because I didn't really feel like doing something, you know, just plain striped. So I thought, well, why don't I do like a mitered square shawl? So I'm planning to make this into sort of a L shape, or a V shape, I suppose, so that I can have it just over my shoulders. So I think that I will be able to get 16 squares out of the amount of yarn I have. So I've made 6, obviously, so I have some left to do in the shaping of it as well. And I find this really, really boring. I'm sorry to say. I did post a picture to Instagram saying that I'm bored already, and someone commented, that's because you don't change your colors. And, well, that makes sense. I'm sure part of the fun of making these scrap blankets are that you are working with all different colors and all different yarns, and perhaps also when you're working with your own scraps. Because I know a lot of you guys are doing different sort of swaps and getting new colorways in, and that is great, of course, but I'm guessing that also when working with your own scraps you'll be reminded that, oh, this was this project, and maybe this were gifted to that person, and you know, it's all of that going on, which is not going on at all in this. Yeah, so I'm a bit bored with it already, as I said, but I do like the results, and I think I will like the finished project. As you can see, I'm trying some different ways to combine the yarns in the different squares, and yeah, I think it will be good. The yarns are, let me bend over to get them, and the ball band just came off. It's Drops Alaska, a wool classic, which is 100% wool. It is 50 grams per ball or per skein, and it's 70 meters. It calls for size 5 needles, millimeter needles. I actually don't know what I am using. I have the needle right here, but I don't have a needle gauge. It might be 5s, it might be 4.5s, because I usually need to go down a needle size. I don't know. And it doesn't really matter. Matter. So the colorways I have are 2 blues. And I did have 5 balls of each. And I am currently working with... Oh, my brain is super slow. I'm currently working with the second skein of each color. So I do have 3 untouched skeins of each color left. And a little bit left on both of the ones that I'm working with. Yeah. The latest square that I knit is this one. No. It's this one, sorry, where I've been reversing, because in the other ones I've been changing color, the yarn, so that it's, you know, sort of on the right side or the public side. But this one I've been changing so that you get the, I was gonna say the pearl bumps. It's knit in garter, so there are no pearl bumps, but that the changes are the wrong way around, and I really do like how that looks. So I wanted to get that in there as well. So yeah, I'm working on that. I'm not super excited about it, but I do believe that I will like the outcome. Excuse me. It's been really tough. I've had huge problems getting sleep because of the coughing. But the last few nights I've actually been able to sleep all through the night without waking to cough. And that's really good. So those are the works in progress that I have going currently. And I've been doing poorly. So what do you do if you're a knitter? You buy yarn, obviously. So I did place an order online, and I got the package on Tuesday, I think, for these yarns that I will show you. And I've sort of spaced them out five. I have 5 balls of this colorway, and these yarns that I will show you first are all Järbo Fuga, which I've used before. It's a Swedish brand, as you can see by the flag right there. And Fuga is 50% wool, which I believe to be superwash, and 50% acrylic. And it's a I'll use acrylic from time to time. I do believe that there is a place for acrylic, even though I prefer wool and natural fibers. And I do believe that there is a difference between acrylic and acrylic. And I do think that this yarn it's a decent yarn. So I did buy 5 skeins of this color, 2 skeins of a darker grey, it's still the same yarn, a pink, a red, and 2 yellows. Out of the same yarn, as I said. It is, I might as well tell you, 50 grams per ball, and it's about 120 meters. These are destined to be toys or stuffies for Christmas gifts. And I haven't started them yet, obviously, but these are going to be Pikachu, hopefully. And these I bought intending to knit a stuffed Totoro, but then I realized I wanted a cream as well, but I totally forgot it when I ordered, so I need to get that. So I'm making a light grey Totoro. It has different colors in different versions, but that is what I'm making. And then I'm also making, and if you are part of my family and sort of nerdy and expect Christmas gifts from me, you might not want to listen right now. These are going to be a companion cube, which is a reference to a video game that I do know the name of, but it just totally disappeared. The game of The Cake is a Lie. Oh, it's completely gone away. Well, anyway, so I'm knitting a companion cube, or perhaps more than one, if you're nosy, family members. Yes, and obviously you will see the progress. If you have no idea what I'm talking about with Pikachu, Totoro and companion cube, you are perfectly healthy, but you will see them as I work on them. So yeah, that was sort of half of the order that I did place. I also got, I believe, 12 skeins of this yarn, which is Viking. And as you might see from the flag up there, it's a Norwegian yarn. It's called baby wool, which I guess also, but actually is in Swedish, but it's baby wool. So it's machine washable. And I am reading on the second skein here, so I'm trying to find what I'm supposed to read. It's 100% merino wool, superwash wool. 50 grams per ball, and it's about 175 meters. Calls for 2.5 mil needles. And these are intended to be the Still Light tunic that I did print in black and white, so you can't really, it's not the best pictures ever, but that is the best picture. It's by Vera Velimäki, and you can see it's a tunic with a big pocket in front. I am planning to make the sleeves longer, or full length. And yeah, I do think that my yarn is just a little bit too thin compared to this pattern. And as I've said, I usually do need to go down a needle size. I will knit a swatch, obviously. But since it is super wash, it is known to grow lengthwise after soaking. So I'm thinking that, because, okay, so the pattern asked me to get, I think, 10 skeins for my size, and I did get 12, both to be able to make the sleeves longer, and also because maybe I need more because my gauge might be a little smaller, because I need to go down. Well, I don't know. I thought it'd better to get more. but I'm thinking that I might be able to get away with knitting it a bit shorter because it will grow, I guess. I will knit a swatch and wash it to make sure, of course. I did order those yarns from Skapamera, I think. Oh, that completely just left my mind. I wonder if I do have it left in my... No, I don't. I did have the order confirmation on my email, but I did take it away. Well, anyway, I did order it online, and it's not really a yarn store. It's more of a creative, crafty web store. So I was a little bit worried because I would get the fuga yarn that I got for the stuffies. Even the ones that are the same color, I wasn't that, you know, if there were different dye lots, maybe that doesn't make that much of a difference, you know, or maybe it's not that bad. But for the yarn for the tunic, that were 12 skeins, I was a little bit worried that they wouldn't send the same dye lot. Because even, well, in ordering in an online store, I guess you can't always just be sure that they will send the same dye lot. Because I don't know their method, or, you know, I don't think that there's a guarantee. But in ordering from like a real yarn store online, you can be, I think, more sure or safe in assuming that they do know what they're talking about or what they're doing. So chances are big or good that in ordering multiple skeins you will get the same dye lot. But as I ordered from this website that is not a yarn store, but more of a, as I said, crafting, creative, different kinds of things, they might not know that a knitter might want the same dye lot, because that is not common knowledge for mugglers, actually. I know that is shocking, but that is the truth. They might not know that, even though they are selling crafty stuff. Maybe they... I mean, that is sort of an in-depth knowledge, I guess. But I was very happy to find that all the skeins of the Viking yarn that I got was from the same dye lot. I was thrilled to see that, because, as I said, 12 skeins is kind of a lot to be able to get from the same dye lot. So that was very good. So I'm thinking that I'm very anxious to cast, or excited to cast that on, the Still Light tunic. But I do think that I do know that I want to finish the others, the sweater, the brown sweater first, because otherwise it sort of would occupy the same space in my mind. So I'd rather have one done before I cast on the second one. But that tunic is for me, and I don't have a deadline on it. The stuffies obviously will be for Christmas, so, and I'm not worried about the time at all, but since they are going to be for Christmas, they will be sort of higher in the priority to get them done before Christmas than the tunic. But I will be very excited to start. Excuse me. I will be very excited to work on the tunic as well as as I get going on it. Okay, that is that, yes. And then I just want to briefly mention the cal, which I'm calling a cal just because it's a good word. Cal as in knit along. I could use Cal with a C for craft along, because I am open to different, what do you say, crafts, techniques. But I'm calling it a Cal just because it's a good word. And most of you, I guess, know of this, but if there are any new viewers, I just want to mention that I am running a Cal with an open start date, so works in progress are okay. It will be closed on Friday the 13th of November. I'm calling it Smile Cal, and you can use the hashtag Smile Cal if you're posting on Instagram. And there is also a thread for objects or works in progress if you want to in the Ravelry group, which is sjomajlin group. The idea is, well, originally it was from the Swedish lyrics of No Bad News, Don't Nobody Bring Me No Bad News, from the Wiz musical. And the Swedish lyrics is pretty much, if I translated it, just give me stuff that makes me happy. And that is pretty much the prompt or the idea, that make something, craft something that helps you stay happy through the fall. So it can be a favorite color, it can be a favorite designer, it can be a favorite project, it can be something mindless to just, be autopilot knitting. It can be something very difficult to keep your brain occupied. Just make it work. It can be gifts for someone that you love, just something to help you smile. So please join if you want to. There will be prizes. The amazing Benjamin Crodwig has offered some of his patterns for the prize pot, and there will be giftable Ravelry patterns as well. And I am holding off a little bit to tell you exactly what the sums and things are going to be, because I just want to gauge the engagement, I guess. And I am very happy to see that in the thread in the Ravelry group there are a lot of very pink hats going on. I think that is, they are amazing, each one of them, but also I think that there is sort of a theme going on that is very exciting as well. So check that out if you want to. And yeah, as I've said, I'm keeping it pretty, simple and open, and you can add current works in progress if you want to. And there is, as I said, there is no set start dates, and the prompt is also pretty open. I guess you can make pretty much anything work. So please join if you want to. I also do want to mention that, well, there is a Ravelry group. It's not very active, and that is completely fine, because there are so many groups to be active in, and I'm not sure that there is a need for another one. It's up there if you want to use it, and as I've said, I'm sort of using it to host the Cal, but yeah, otherwise it's not really, I'm not going to keep it going just to keep it going. But I do want to mention that there is a thread in the group that is called, I believe it's called questions/what you want to hear about. And what I'm aiming at right now, or what I'm getting at, is if you do have questions or suggestions on topics that you want me to talk about, please let me know. You can use the thread in the forum or in the group if you want to, or if you just want to comment or send me a message or whatever. Make it work. I am obviously doing this podcast because I enjoy it. But on the other hand, if no one was watching, I would probably not do it. So I am also doing it for you guys. So if there are questions or things that you want me to talk about, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll just, keep talking about things that I find interesting, which might be good enough, sure. I know that when I watch podcasts, sometimes sometimes I have a question and then I'll post it, but a lot of times I think it's good. The reason why I'm watching their podcast is because I think it's good. And if I don't have, a suggestion on what I want to hear more about, or, well, it's, in a way, it's suggesting a change, right? If I don't have that suggestion, I won't post it, and because I'm happy with the way it is. So I am not expecting all of you to be posting a lot of things, because hopefully you kind of think it's good as it is. Am I making any sense? So, well, what I'm saying is, if you do have questions or suggestions or topics or whatever, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep doing this. So yes, and I also do want to say a huge thank you to all of you who've been supporting me in my time of need. Sorry, but it's been kind of rough, and mostly on Instagram, but also on the latest episode on the podcast. Some of you guys have been really supportive in your comments, and it does really mean a lot to me. Really. So I do thank you from my heart. Yes. And then I do want to mention or talk a little bit about something that I did post to... Sorry, just saw something. That I did post to Instagram last night as I was trying to go to sleep. I've been seeing the doctor 3 times over the last few weeks. 2 of the times I've been seeing the same doctor, and 1 of the time I was seeing a different doctor. And the doctor that I met 2 times, it was a bit weird. I didn't feel as though she listened to me, and I felt as though she was saying weird things. She was saying that because I was, super worn from this infection. And she was like, you just need to exercise more. And I was like, what? Yeah, just exercise. Unless you have a fever. If you have a fever, it's okay with just walks. And I was like, well, I've always heard that you're supposed to rest, And sure, when you're getting better, sure, you can start, to exercise too. Because we all need to exercise, right? But as long as you have an infection going on, and if you have a fever, you shouldn't exercise. Is what I've always heard. And there was just like all these small things that were just weird. So anyway, I was able to, where I live, in the administrative area, I guess, we are able to log on to a page on the internet to read our charts from the, well, it's not the hospital, the healthcare center, unit, whatever. And so I did, and was very surprised to see that the doctor had done some tests that I wasn't aware of. She had obviously, sort of squished my tummy, and everything was fine, and I wasn't sore. Only no one touched me like that. She did listen to my lungs and stuff, so she did touch me, but not my tummy. And there were also questions that I had answered, but I hadn't heard the questions at all, and there were things in there that weren't true. In this specific case, I don't think it really matters for my health. Depending on what your problems are and what you search help for, it might be very scary to find that tests that should have been done weren't done, or whatever. In this specific case, I don't think that I'm doing worse. I know that I'm doing better. It's peaked or whatever, and I'm on my way. But it's still very, very scary to find that the doctor is lying, you know? So I did get in contact with the boss of the establishment and whatever. I don't even know what I've been doing. I've been, how do you say, I don't even know what word to use. I've been sort of a pain in their behinds, which I think is rightfully so. And I did talk to the boss of that area or something. I don't really know what this, what to say in English. Yesterday, and she pretty much just stated that, well, it's words against words, because the doctor claims she did that, and I was like, but she didn't, and she's like, well, it's words against words, and I was like, so I have so much anger that I don't know what to do with. I don't know where to direct it, because, yes, sure, you can make mistakes. But what do I do as a patient when I find that a mistake has been done, that I know not to be true, but they won't listen to me? And as I said, in this specific case, I don't think it really affects my health. But still, I should be able to feel safe. And I also asked that, well, I don't want to see that doctor again. Is there any way that I can be guaranteed not to have to see that doctor? And she was like, no, when you need to call the doctor, you'll just have to say... And I was like, do I have to say that every time then? And to, because that doesn't really feel fair in a way as well, that I have to mention, like, this doctor by the name of... I don't want to see that doctor. I mean, that doesn't really feel fair to me nor to that doctor, I guess. Yeah. I am so angry, and I have no idea where to or how to direct the anger into something productive. I've been in touch with, and I really have no idea what this might be called in English, but it's like a separate instance, like a third person that you can contact in having a conflict with the healthcare, I guess. So I've been in contact with them, and they also thought that this was very serious, and a case worthy of taking higher up in the hierarchy, I guess. So I am waiting for their answer as well, or for them to get back to me, and hopefully that will give me something to, I don't know, continue on. But yeah, it's really, really scary. I feel, I guess, unsafe, and I'm very angry. But once again, as I said, I don't think, or I really believe that in this specific case it doesn't affect my health, other than obviously the anger does. But I don't think that the doctor's lies and mistakes affect my health, which is very good, because that anxiety on top would have been just awful. Yeah. It feels weird to just be, complaining like that and not having a solution or, a good note to end on, but yeah, I guess life's like that sometimes. It bothers me so much, so I wanted to mention it. For those of you who are in Sweden, check out 1177 if you are in a län or landsting. That is, I don't even know the words. Om ditt landsting är anslutet till 1177s journaltjänst. Kolla det, and then you can log on to see to make sure that your charts are true. Because obviously you can't just rely on that. Sorry. I guess that is all I have to say. I'm sorry to end on kind of a downer, but well, you know, overall it's good. I'm doing better. I'm trying to rest and get rid of this coughing and yeah. And as I said, I've been able to take time off from work this week since I wasn't able to be on sick leave anymore. And hopefully it will work out fine next week. So overall I'm doing good, or I'm doing better anyway, so that's positive. And yeah, I have all the yarns. Not all the yarns, but I have a lot of yarn. And that is also something really positive. So I'm trying to stay positive, is what I'm getting at. Sorry. And that is all. Join the Cal if you want to. Get in contact with me if you want to. I am approachable. Like and comment and subscribe on YouTube. Be my friend on Ravelry. Follow me on Instagram. Do whatever you want to. Be kind to yourselves and to one another, and drink a lot of tea. And be creative. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.